I live in Canada, where most joke that we have one season, winter. While winter can seem long and cold at times, it can be beautiful and filled with blessings if you choose to look at the season with a different perspective. This is much the same for winter moments in our growth journey, but let's continue looking at the winter season and what it can offer us for knowledge. On the surface, winter brings shorter days, longer nights, and we tend to seek warmth from the cold. Many plants and animals hibernate or slow their movements to preserve energy as they prepare for the upcoming spring. It is natural to feel less active and more withdrawn during the winter months, and I've seen this in every neighborhood I've lived in. During the winter months, families tend to keep to themselves. There is a movement from the house to the car to take the kids places, but the chats we have over the fence in other seasons don't happen in the winter. Activities are generally indoors unless the weather is pleasant enough to endure for our favorite winter sports. If you are looking at winter through a negative perspective, you will see it as a time to find ways to survive or be in survival mode, to brave the harsh climate and defend yourself against the elements that are happening around you. This season can be dark and lonely, as many close themselves off from others in isolation as they try to survive these elements. Often when we are outside on winter days, we feel the biting cold winds that can be harsh and the cold depth of the snow around our feet. Many aren't prepared for this aspect of the winter season. They close themselves off, curl into a ball trying to survive. Try to avoid the wind and snow at all costs. Others choose to build a defensive shelter using the snow and wind to create an ice barrier as they continue to believe that this is their only way to survive the harsh elements around them. Metaphorically, the winds are our thoughts and the words or beliefs we hold about ourselves and others. They can pull us down, harm us, and freeze us in painful moments. They disconnect us from those we love and keep us frozen in fear in moments. The snow represents frozen emotions that are stuck in form. While each snowflake is beautiful and unique, one must observe them individually to try and appreciate its beauty and the lessons within each one. One can stay outdoors and try to pick through the snowflakes flying around you or within you in the case of your emotions, just as you can try to brave the biting cold wind or the thoughts swirling around in your head while everything is painfully hard to experience. Or you can choose to move into a safe space so you can observe the thoughts and emotions. This will be like taking in the beauty of winter by sitting under a blanket while looking through a window, watching the snow fall and the wind flow through the trees. For years, I built my own shelter and even had different shelters for different situations. I spoke from the words that came through my brain, believing them to be true, but found myself saying harsh messages that hurt others and myself. I was stuck outside in a long winter season. Thankfully, I shifted my perspective of this season to the comfort and cozy way of transforming instead of continuing down the path of getting beaten up by the cold winds as I tried helplessly to dig myself out of emotional snowbanks. Now that I've painted a picture of what a typical winter season is for many that didn't have the tools or knowledge to help them through it, let's look at the positive aspects of a quantum winter season. A winter season is often a period where we feel the need to go within for deeper perspectives and a universal knowledge that isn't readily available from others. Winter is a time for learning, reflection, and preparation for what's to come. It's about looking for clear guidance, knowledge, and wisdom. Those looking for an aligning truth or finding themselves teaching or expressing their truth will be in this space. The winter season is a time of transformation for our mental well-being and inner growth as we prepare for the spring season. Our state of mind and the urge to deepen our connection with ourselves and with the divine is natural for the winter season. However, to be able to float within this season, comfort is needed to feel safe while experiencing those uncomfortable quantum winter moments. Why? Because the quantum winter season is placed within every moment directly after a trigger or introduction to a growth opportunity. These moments aren't always pleasant, and we often need to pause before choosing how to react. Let's go back to using nature for learning more about this quantum season. Remember when I was telling you about the harsh winter environment outside? Well, it is easier to adjust to the winter season when you are sitting under a blanket in a fire-warmed space, watching the snow gently fall from the sky and the wind flow through the trees. Metaphorically, this cozy and warm space is your comfort space that makes you feel safe enough to reflect and relax. Within the Hygge lifestyle, this is your favorite place to sit and reflect, the place you feel safe and comfortable. Psychology tells us that when the brain feels comfortable and feels safe, it calms enough to release any resistance it has when one wants to explore new perspectives or expand their opportunities. Our brain can take us down a long, dark spiral in these winter seasons if we aren't creating the comforting spaces we need to try and see things from a new perspective. We can find ourselves isolating from others if we think the elements are too harsh, and there is no other way to find safety. However, if we allow ourselves to find a comfortable space and go within to a place of no thing, a place where we can set aside our own expectations and our own self-judgment and allow the loving energy and comfort to keep an open mind to whatever we need to learn and whenever it will come. We have the power in that place of no thing to explore new perspectives that help us heal, grow, and learn more about ourselves and the journey we are on. When we leave the old thoughts outside and have a quiet moment of reflection in the place of no thing, we allow the loving energy to support us and guide us to insight and knowledge. This is the moment where transformation of the mind is possible and truly magical in releasing old beliefs and providing you with universal knowledge meant for you to receive. Years ago, I went through a long winter season where I was hard on myself emotionally, physically, and mentally. I would find myself taking my frustrations out on my kids, when in truth my mental well-being was the last thing I considered as important. But when I got home to spend time with my family, I had nothing left for them in the good way. Instead of taking a moment to replenish and recenter, I pushed through it, and it never ended well. One day I stopped midway through a blow-up and had an out-of-body experience where I knew I needed to do something different. It was then that I allowed myself to go inside out of the storm and find new perspectives. Through this comforting, transformative moment, I promised to give myself a mom timeout after work so I could release the day before engaging with my kids. It helped me find a center point and let things go without unraveling me. To do this, though, I needed to shed the old belief that the mom timeout was unproductive time and that it is much needed for my mental health. It also helped improve the relationships I had with my kids because I wasn't on the edge all the time. Since then, I've been through many winter seasons and made my way through transformations by looking within for guidance. Some helped me rediscover hidden truths that we had been conditioned to not believe, and some helped me discover more about myself and the soul experience I've had in other lives. The expanding mind is a mindset that can explore new perspectives, as well as see and appreciate different perspectives. Each winter season you go through helps you appreciate the journey with a healthier mindset. Next on your quantum seasonal journey, you will find yourself entering a quantum spring season. Each chakra will move in this direction naturally after the quantum winter season.